Alright, here we go with part 2 of the Uchu Sentai Kyuranger video review. Alright, so hello everyone, this is Eli G. Brown, / Eli G. Brownie, and quite a lot of things have been happening with me very lately. Just as far as, well, you know, just doing a lot of things. Okay, but anyway, here is part 2 of my Uchu Sentai Kyuranger vinyl figure review. Well, last week, I was able to get all 9 of the original Kyurangers, and these extra 4 were on the way, and I've actually had 3 of them since Wednesday of last week, and I was expecting that the last one was going to be coming in a little soon after that. But no, the last one just came in today. So, now I'm going to be looking over these guys. So, here we go. First up is Ryu Commander. This is the 10th member of the Kyuranger team. He is a purple colored ranger, and he has this very long cape going down on his suit, which makes him very different from the main team Kyurangers. I actually had a bit of trouble with getting this one to stand up properly, such as trying to bend the legs so that they will stand up right, but they always revert back to how they were before. So in order to improve how he can stand up, I put some tape underneath his foot so he can stand up a little bit better. Probably a little harder to do it when on a blanket or when on a carpet, but he does still stand up pretty well in most cases. The standard articulation is how it goes, and what's different about him compared to the other Kyurangers is that he has this black pattern on his upper torso, and he also has the star completely in the middle, and there's the symbol for the dragon. Once again, I don't know all the constellations, and once again, I am not moving the camera. That is just the camera doing it on its own. And the symbol on his visor, there's the dragon head, and it's a very nice pattern. Now, when Ryu Commander actually debuted, he actually appeared as Ryu Violet, where he didn't have this cape right here. It was pretty much supposed to be a prototype suit, and Sho Rumpo, the mentor of the Kyurangers, really wanted to become the 10th member of the Kyuranger team. He didn't want to just have a prototype suit, and he eventually, by the end of the episode, he was able to get the Ryu Commander suit and become a full-on member of the team. So that is pretty good right there. As Ryu Violet, he kind of looks almost like the rest of the main Kyurangers, only a little bit, although half of the suit is recycled from Tokyo 7 Go from Tokyo Returns. But, you know, I think that the entire Ryu Commander suit is all brand new, at least at the time of filming, anyway. Now, he doesn't have the same thing used to transform, and I actually made a mistake in the last episode. I said that it was called a Kyuranger, but somebody left a comment and said that it's actually a Caesar changer, I think. Something like that. But, yeah, anyway, it's not a Kyuranger, it's a Caesar changer. Although in the show, whenever they start the transformation, I kind of thought that the Transformer was saying, "Say the change." And maybe they are. It's just that I think it's called Seiza change. It's S-E-I-Z-A. So, there is Ryu Commander. Next up is Koguma Skyblue. This is the new figure that just recently came in the mail today. And he is a little shorter than the other Kyurangers. And the reason for that is because in the show, he's actually a child, like at the age of 10. Quite like with Justin in Power Rangers Turbo. But unlike with Justin, he doesn't seem to increase in height, at least not, he doesn't look like he grows to adult size, because, look, he's still shorter than the other Kyurangers. Now, I'm going to bring in Chameleon Green, because the female Kyurangers are slightly shorter, and you can see that even compared to Chameleon Green, he's still shorter. Right there. Now, this character right here, he actually appeared in episode 5 along with his little brother, and they were, like, captured by Stinger, the Orange Ranger. But, you know, by the end, well, not by the end, but much rather, once all 9 Kyurangers assembled, and once they figured out that Stinger wasn't a bad guy, like he was, supposedly was at first, he and his brother got to go. But then he also wanted to become a Kyuranger too, and he did get to become one shortly after the debut of Ryu Commander. So, he is called Koguma Skyblue because he is in a lighter blue color, a little lighter than the standard blue, a little lighter than Okami blue, and here's that figure. And you can see that they are both blue, but they're different shades of blue. Like, this is a closer standard blue, and this is a much lighter blue, referred to as sky blue. Now, when they do eventually adapt Kyuranger, which I hope they do in the next couple of years, I am wondering if they're going to call this, I'm thinking they're going to call this guy an Aqua Ranger, because they called the light blue colored Ranger in Dino Charge an Aqua Ranger, so I'm thinking they're going to do the same thing for this guy as well. Now, he looks somewhat like the main Team Kyurangers, except he has a scarf on his body, and of course he's much shorter than the others. And he also has the symbol of the bear, and I actually do know the name of this one. It's called the Ursa, and can you see it? Okay, there's the symbol of the Ursa, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, not quite sure. And something that is also amazing is that even though he doesn't grow to adult size, at least not in his default Ranger form, he can, however, grow very large during the fight, where he can just goes from an Ursa Minor to an Ursa Major, goes from little to big. And that is a pretty cool looking thing. Now, I know that some people probably did not like Justin in Power Rangers Turbo because he was a kid, but for me personally, I did actually like that when I was a kid, and I was not even aware that other fans hated it. Not until years later when the internet came around. And when I saw the news online that most people did not like Justin, I was like, what? What is up with that? But that's just how it went for me, anyway. And I'm not quite sure if they're going to do the same thing for this guy right here when they do get it adapted, but he kind of looks like he could actually legitimately be a child, and he may as well be, because I cannot imagine this as being like a grown-up, or, well, maybe a very short grown-up or short teenager, but I don't think he could be pulled off like that. I mean, I know they did that for Keeper Ranger when they adapted Die Ranger into the second season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but that was because he was a little taller when morphed compared to his demorphed form. Alright, continuing on, the next one that we are looking over is Houou Soldier. This is the 12th member of the Kyurangers. And also, to point out something, fans have debated as to whether Ryu Commander or Houou Soldier should legitimately count as the 6th Ranger of the team. As in, which one of these would be the standard or the default form of Gokai Silver from Kaizo Sentai Gokaiger. I mean, if the Gokaigers transformed into the Kyurangers, would Gokai Silver transform into Ryu Commander, or would he transform into Houou Soldier? right now there's some debate among fans as to which one of these guys should legitimately count as the quote-unquote 6th Ranger of the Kyuranger team. There are some people that are debating that Ryu Commander actually counts as an extra Ranger, much like Deca Master in Deca Ranger. So for me, honestly, I'm not quite sure which one of these should actually count as the legitimate 6th Ranger. But what do you guys think? Anyway, continuing on from that, Houou Soldier is actually a figure that I was not expecting to be impressed by. But once I got the figure in person, as in just getting it out of the package, I just saw it and I was like really impressed with how this guy looks. I mean, he's all glittery. He's actually semi-transparent, though you could only really tell that if you put him up against a light. And generally, I just think that this figure was well done with the mostly translucent blue or black, kind of a navy color, to put it. Just with all of these, you know, just all glitterily. And having, you know, being basically the color of space. And of course he's red on the upper part, so this would make him a Red Ranger. Now I also really like the visor. It's in the shape of a phoenix, since that's the power that he's based upon. Though this is a human character, though I forgot to mention that Ryu Commander is a anthropomorphic Chinese dragon in demorphed form. But Koguma Skyblue is a human child, and Houou Soldier is also a human character. Now here on the visor he has this kind of microphone that goes down the top of his head all the way down to his chin, and he also has a transparent visor right in front of the Phoenix visor. In fact, I also figured out that that you could actually turn his head from side, or his helmet from side to side. I mean, the inside of the helmet does not change, but you can move the outer part of the helmet. But I don't want to do it like too much, because I don't want to basically pop this off and just not be able to get it back on. So I'm just not going to be doing that so much. And may as well just leave it as is. Alright, so right there is the constellation for the Phoenix. Not sure what it's actually supposed to be called, but there it is for you to see. And that's the last of the new characters. But now we are going to go on to a figure that represents a character that we already got, but this is a power-up. This is Shishi Red Orion. This is a power-up that Shishi Red gets sometime in the series. And here's a comparison. Here's the original Shishi Red, and as you can see, he is actually red in his default form. But with the power-up, he becomes white. He gets a white suit. He's got this armor going on the top. Also has the different colored dots, like blue, yellow, green, black, gold, pink, orange, silver. So those are pretty much the colors of the other core team Kyurangers on his armor right there. And of course his star stays the same, being red, since he is at default a Red Ranger. And he also has a red stripe going on the top of his helmet, which is very well done. Now the capes that go hanging on his arms, they're actually attached onto there. And he also gains a gold belt, which is very different from the original Shishi Red, which is, of course, in silver. And he also has a slightly different visor right there. You know, instead of the lion right there on the top being the only thing that you see. Here we see the lion over on this end, but whatever that's supposed to be is on that end. So, yeah, I was really... This was the figure that I was actually most excited about when getting the Kyuranger vinyl figures. Though, of course, Houou Soldier impressed me much more than I expected him to, but this was the figure that I was really excited for. Very cool. Alright, so, that pretty much sums up my Uchu Sentai Kyuranger vinyl figure review. Oh, there's one more thing. Much like the original Kyurangers, they also come with cards. Here is Ryu Commander's card. It's the number 10. Here is Koguma Skyblue's card. It's number 11. Here is Houou Soldier's card, which is number 12. And here is Shishi Red Orion's card, which is number 13. And it's much wider than the other Kyuranger cards because, well, this is a special Ranger, a special power-up. So, that pretty much is my review on the Kyuranger vinyl figures, the extra ones, outside of the core 9 Rangers. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.